On her very first day as a second-year student at the prestigious Tristan Academy for Magicians, Louise de la Valliere steps into an enchanting magical world known as Halkeginia. Her teacher asks her to perform a simple spell, turn pebbles into brass, despite her peers calling her zero. The room explodes as soon as she casts the spell. Despite being born into a family of renowned and celebrated magicians, Louise has an unfortunate 0% success rate when it comes to casting spells effectively. Hirsch summons a fire salamander on the day of the traditional summoning ceremony. Hitch summons a large mole named Verdandi, but Louise summons a human named Saito Haraga from Tokyo, who is unable to comprehend what Louise is saying. Louise is disappointed, but she is unable to break the ritual's tradition, so she kisses Saito, and runes appear on his left hand. Louise uses a silent spell to silence him, but it backfires, allowing Saito to speak and understand Louise's language. Saito initially believes he has been kidnapped, but when he notices the two distinct moons glowing brightly in the sky, he realizes he has been unexpectedly transported to another world. Saito now has to deal with being Louise's personal assistant, and he is frequently whipped for disobedience. Saito dresses Louise in the morning before they go to breakfast, where Saito only gets a piece of bread and meets Siesta, a kind maid. Saito, dissatisfied with Noble's arrogance, mocks Gitch's two-timing nature, prompting Gitch to challenge him to a duel. Saito resolutely refuses to give up, even after being severely beaten and battered by Gitch's formidable summoned brass golem. Gitch, impressed, throws him a sword to give him a chance. When Saito touches the sword, the runes etched on his hand begin to glow, enhancing his strength and speed, as well as giving him sword skills, and he easily defeats Gitch. After the fight, however, he collapses from exhaustion. Mr. Colbert and Mr. Osmond, the esteemed headmaster, firmly believes that Saito is truly a legendary familiar. After defeating Geisha, Saito gained popularity among commoners and nobles. Siesta and the commoners secretly feed Saito while Louise withholds food as his new punishment. His name has officially been changed to Zero. Kirch, a renowned German noblewoman, has chosen him to be her next boyfriend. She tries to seduce him, but Louise discovers it. Louise drags Saito to town to buy him a sword. Louise's thoughtful gift is matched perfectly by Kirch's unique gift, causing even more friction between Saito and Louisa. Louise's sword turns out to be Derflinger, the talking sword. Osmond persistently continues to harass Longueville. Count Mott forces Siesta to be his mistress. Saito, disgusted by Noble's disregard for commoners, tries to save her. They make a deal where Count Mott asks for a particular family heirloom book from a Germania family, which happens to be Kirsch's family. In response, Kirsch suggests he date Saito. Saito attempts to battle Count Mott using Kirsch's costly ornamental sword, but the runes fail to activate since it's not meant for combat, leaving him struggling to even lift it. Louise and the others arrive just in time to heroically save Saito. In exchange for Siesta's freedom and forgiving Saito's offense, Kirsha gives Count Mach the book. Saito catches a glimpse of the heirloom book and discovers it is an old Japanese porn magazine. After they return to the academy, Siesta sweetly thanks Saito with a gentle cheek kiss. Louise is depressed about the upcoming exhibition of new familiars. Also, this year the Princess of Tristane will be present, which makes the event even more important. As night falls, Saito becomes desperate to perform a commendable act. Princess Henrietta appears in Louise's room and explains that she and Louise are childhood friends. Louise drags Saito off stage the next day after a weak sword-swinging demonstration. They observe Fook, the skilled sculptor, commanding an earth golem to forcefully break into the school's hidden treasure vault. Louise uses her powerful magic to try to stop her, but her energy blast misses the towering golem, and instead strikes the wall, creating a path to the vault. Tabitha and her loyal dragon Sylphid arrive too late to prevent the cunning Fouquet from stealing the legendary Staff of Destruction, worried about being wrongly blamed for Fouquet's audacious theft. Louise kindly offers to go after her. Kirch and Tabitha also provide their help. They are escorted by Longwhale to the very last known sighting of Fuka. Tabitha discovers the powerful Staff of Destruction concealed in an abandoned house alongside her friends Kirch and Saito. Outside, Louise uses spells to fight the golem but fails. Saito rushes in to save her as she is crushed. Louise sobs, her confidence shattered. As Sylphid rescues the nobles, Saito is moved and attacks the golem. The golem breaks Kirch's sword. Derflinger uses Saito. Saito redraws Derflinger, his runes glowing. He can slash the golem's legs, but they regenerate. Louise attempts to assist with the powerful Staff of Destruction, which Saito identifies as an M72 rocket launcher, and he skillfully destroys it using his rune-enabled abilities. Longo then confidently claims the entire staff and dramatically reveals herself to be Fuke all along. She created the scenario to learn the staff. She uses the staff to kill the students, but the rocket launchers are single-use weapons. Saito beats Fuka, a man from a distant world, wielding one of two mystical staffs, saved Osmond 30 years ago during a crisis. Osmond carefully buried the man and retained the remaining staff. The school throws a party. Louise thanks Saito for saving her by dancing. Louise has captured Fuke, Henrietta says. She extends her hand to Saito, but he misunderstands and kisses her. Henrietta assigns Louise and Saito the task of going undercover to investigate whether nobles are exploiting the commoners. Louise foolishly loses all their hard-earned money in a casino, where she confidently expected to win even more. Saito and Louise, determined to avoid asking Henrietta for additional funds, eagerly seek employment at the charming Fairy Inn run by Scarin and Jessica. As a dishwasher, Saito is in close contact with Jessica, much to Louise's chagrin. Scarin rewards the top waitresses who receive the most generous tips with a substantial bonus and the exciting chance to dress up as a maid. Louise's temper prevents her from earning tips until an arrogant noble enters. The noble leaves a large bribe for Louise, allowing her to win the contest. They have to leave now, but Louise dresses up as his maid just for him. Summer vacation signifies that many students are coming back home. Kirch quietly follows Tabita back home. Louise and Saito are finally alone together. Tabita's real name is Charlotte, the beloved princess of Gallia, and she carries a tragic past that involves her mother unwittingly drinking a powerful psychoactive potion. Montmorency, feeling furious that Gaish has been flirting with other girls, concocts an aphrodisiac and discreetly slips it into Guiche's drink. Saito skillfully transforms a large, rusty cooking pot that was destined for the trash into a cozy Japanese-style hot tub at night. Siesta joins Saito in the tub, much to his embarrassment. Louise sees them together and becomes enraged, interrupting Gage and Montmorency, accidentally drinking the love potion. Louise is flustered and falls in love with Saito upon his return. Louise's Saito comes back to her room and unexpectedly falls deeply in love with him. Louise's lovey-dovey behavior towards Saito freaks him out. Saito desperately pleads with Montmorency to concoct an antidote, but she stubbornly refuses until he resorts to blackmailing her. To find the antidote, Montmorency and Getch lead Saito and Louise to Lagdorian Lake, where they meet the water spirit, who is flooding the land to search for her stolen treasure, but is being hindered by magic users. Saito and Guiche fight the intruders, who turn out to be Kirch and Tabitha. Saito swears to find the water spirit's lost items, and he is given the antidote by the spirit of Gandalfer. Louise and Saito, the dedicated caretakers of the love potion, now face an exciting new mission. Princess Henrietta will marry the Emperor of Germania to strengthen her country's alliance. Without a letter from Henrietta to Prince Wales of Albion, the wedding will be cancelled. Albion is in a state of civil war, so the princess cannot see the prince. Hitch overhears the conversation and offers to help Henrietta, much to Louise and Seidos' chagrin. Wards, captain of the Griffin Squadron, arrives the day before they leave, Louise's fiancé. He makes Saito jealous. In the end, Derflinger tells Saito that only Gandalfers can wield Derflinger. Wards eagerly proposes to Louise and then boldly challenges Saito to a duel. Wards easily wins, leaving Saito depressed. Louise and Wards board the large ship that evening after he successfully persuades her that the boys have indeed returned home safely. Louise accepts his proposal after he persists in his courtship. The unexpected arrival of Fuke and her powerful golem has, in fact, resulted in Gauch and Saito experiencing a significant delay. Kirch and Tabitha, who made their appearance on the show Sylphid, save them. Saito uncovers that both Wards and Fuke were secretly collaborating together, which is putting Louise in serious danger. Wards and Louise arrive on the floating continent of Albion, where they meet Prince Wales. Louise delivers the letter. Then Wales gives her a reply letter that she is supposed to retrieve, and she learns of the power behind the Reconquista, an uprising of nobles in Albion. With their mission seemingly accomplished, Wards firmly insists on marrying them in the land of Albion. He reveals himself to be a Reconquista member and a threat to Wales. Louise tries to refuse, but one of Ward's allies, Cromwell, arrives with the stolen water spirit's ring and uses mind control to force her to consent. When Saito bursts into the church and snaps Louise out of her trance, the wedding is ruined, and Wards kills Wales and attempts to kill Saito. However, Saito is enraged by Wards' treatment of Louise, and he is able to fully utilize Derflinger and his abilities as Gandalfer. Wards' magic is defeated and he flees. Tabitha and the others save the two of them, and Sylphid flies everyone home. Saito kisses Louise while holding her in his arms. The princess's wedding is abruptly cancelled after Louise informs Henrietta about the tragic news of Wales' unexpected death. Osmond receives a cautionary warning about the Reconquista from Louise. Then Osmond tells her about Gandalfer and void magic. Saito accompanies Siesta to her home village of Talbes to find a dragon after another argument with Louise. Following them, Louise and others discover the rare dragon that Siesta's family has kept as an heirloom. Saito comes across a tombstone with a Japanese epitaph. An A6M0 fighter, a well-known Japanese aircraft, is unexpectedly revealed to be the dragon. It is revealed that Siesta's great-grandfather was a skilled World War II IJN pilot, who, much like Saito, was mysteriously transported to the land of Halkeginia. Colbert explains that during a solar eclipse, 2 dragons flew, but one vanished. He asserts that the timing of the second pilot was not accurate, and that the solar eclipse concluded before he had the chance to fly through the portal. Albion declares war on Tristane as they return to school, intending to use the country as a base from which to conquer the rest of the continent. They plan to attack in 3 days during the next solar eclipse. When Saito confides in Louise that he longs to return home during the approaching solar eclipse, she coldly acts as if she is indifferent, which infuriates him deeply. Albion and Tristane are rumored to be on the verge of an impending and fierce war. Henrietta gathers a military force and conscripts the Academy's boys. When Louise walks in on a sleeping Saito, she says her goodbyes. Saito wakes up the next morning to find a letter written by Louise. "You've been fired. You are free to go wherever you want." Louise bravely makes the decision to fight alongside the princess during the fierce war. Henrietta advances with the Tristane military to intercept the invading Albion force at the village of Talbes, while Saito gets in his Zero fighter. Saito attacks Albion's dragon squadrons, who are unable to keep up with the plane's speed, rather than flying straight into the eclipse. When Saito's bullets finally run out, he is suddenly attacked by Wards, who is swiftly riding a fierce wind dragon. From Sylphid to Sato's plane, Louise leaps. Fook's powerful golem is thoroughly dismantled by Tabitha, Courage, and Gooch, leading to Fook fleeing for good. Louise finally connects deeply with Saito, and unlocks her incredible void magic for the very first time, casting the immensely powerful spell Explosion, which utterly destroys Albion's entire aerial force. After the battle, with the solar eclipse behind them, and the Zero fighter on the verge of being destroyed, Saito and Louise sit by the wreckage and have another argument before kissing. Cromwell attempts to use the powerful ring of Andavari to hypnotize both Kurji and Tabitha, but Geach unexpectedly knocks him out. Henrietta later bestows medals on the 4 aristocrats, and Tabitha is given the water spirit's ring in exchange for her promise to return it. Louise is overjoyed with her medal, and rushes to show it to Saito, only to discover him conversing with Siesta. Louise, in her typical dramatic fashion, greatly overreacts and punishes Saito unfairly.